This week on the latest episode of Real Reviews, Mr. Clay is a former operative of a clandestine organization called Beekeepers. After his friend and neighbor dies by suicide after falling for a phishing scam, Mr. Clay sets out to exact revenge against the company responsible in The Beekeeper. Now, one of the most common and popular film tropes is the story of a lone individual who simply exists and simply wants to be left alone. They usually have a strong set of principles and a background as a highly trained operative. Soon, their idyllic life is interrupted, and they spend the rest of the story extracting vengeance or revenge. Now, there are several films that illustrate this trope. High Noon, Jason Bourne, Kill Bill, The Equalizer, John Woo's The Killer, and Taken are just a few. Now, in The Beekeeper, Adam Clay is living a quiet life, making honey and caring for his bees, but all that changes when his friend is scammed and loses all of her life savings, resulting in her taking her life. Soon, Clay begins a reign of terror going after not only the man who hurt his friend, but also the institution that takes advantage of defenseless people. Now, when multiple government agencies seek to slow him down, Clay turns up the heat and goes scorched earth on anyone or anything that gets in his way. Now, if you've seen any of the films I've referenced earlier, you know exactly where this story is going. One thing that the film has going for it is my man, Jason Statham, who this story is not his first rodeo in this genre. Now, in franchises such as The Transporter and The Expendables, Statham is as natural as this isolated killing machine in a way that Keanu Reeves never does as John Wick. Now, this film, of course, directed by David Ayers, who did, among some other films, Training Day, Fast and Furious, wrote SWAT, Harsh Times, Street Kings, End of Watch, Suicide Squad, Bright, Fury, and also from a script from Kurt Wimmer. The Beekeeper is a familiar yet entertaining film that continues to show that you can teach an old dog a new trick. But when the one he has works so well, why bother? The Beekeeper is just an amazing film on so many levels. And what I mean by an amazing film, as you've heard me say, is a story we've seen countless times in so many different films. The trope is so familiar, right? But what makes this entertaining, if you like these sorts of films, is just the sheer, I want to say, audacity and the volume. These films are violent. You watch John Wick, you watch Jason Bourne, you watch what Denzel Washington does with Equalizer. These are not films for the faint of heart, but these are stories that simply work, whether you change the time period, the ethnicity, you change the setting, whether it's domestic, it's international. These films always work. So The Beekeeper, which I saw out a sneak preview a week ago, is a film that got me out of my seat, had me cheering. I enjoyed this film a lot. I'm going to give The Beekeeper a B+. As I said, you heard me say earlier, my man, Jason Statham. I love Statham's films and the franchises that he's participated in. I think The Beekeeper smells like it could be a franchise on the level of a Bourne, a Wick, an Equalizer, or one of those stories. And the fact of how audacious the story goes, which I did not give out at all, I'll let you be the judge and check that out for yourself. But as I said, one more time, a B+ for Jason Statham in The Beekeeper. This film opens in theaters on January the 12th. And as I tell you every week, you be the judge. You take care. We'll see you soon.